Let me go to Dean. I think Dean, you also have a very strong vision. I mean, and that's what you're doing over the years, but where do you want to see Authentically American in the next 5 years?
Well, Kuldeep, listening here, I'm fired up.
Yeah,
One of my favorite mantras is go big or go home. And just to hear the visions and the dreams and the aspirations of every here, I mean, I'm just energized hearing
wonderful.
this. And for us, our vision, is to build this iconic American brand that's truly American made. And we've put a go big or go home number to that. And Chuck, it's interesting to hear that you spent time at Procter and Gamble. I spent time there as well. So I worked on brands like Crest and Tide, and I also spent time at Mars working on brands like M&Ms and Snickers. And all those brands are unique and different, but the one common threshold they have is they're all $1 billion brand.
Yeah.
And ultimately, that is our vision. We want to build $1 billion household iconic brand. And tying in the prior question about mistakes we've made, I mean, what we made a mistake in our first 2 years is we tried to be all things to everybody.
Mm.
And you can't be all things to all people. And what we've started to realize that it's daunting to think that we want to build $1 billion brand, but to put it in perspective,
Yeah.
the apparel industry spend every year is 300 billion.
Yes.
300 billion. So ultimately, to achieve our goal, we only have to please 1/3 of 1% to be $1 billion brand. So we've got a long way to go to get there, but that really reinforced that, instead of all things to all people, we need to be laser focused.
Yeah.
And there's three sides of our business. So there's a consumer brand side. So, a vintage US flag branded, our own branded apparel, our item that has our logo. There's also a collegiate side. Greg, we've got that in common. We started with service academies, West Point, Naval Academy, Air Force Academy. Now we've expanded to University of Tennessee and Alabama. So we've got a collegiate side, but the power of focus we found is on the client side of our business.
Mm.
So if you are a business owner, you will often buy t-shirts or you will buy polos, you'll buy hats for your company. And up until us coming to the marketplace, there were very few options for American made. And that was our idea, that we want to fill that niche, but we went even further because what we found is our story, being a brand that celebrates patriotism, being a brand that believes in the American worker and a brand that honors our American heroes, really resonated with veteran-owned businesses. And to give you some more perspective, there's 2.4 million veteran-owned businesses. And like any B2B business, any client business, there's a sales cycle. And oftentimes some of our bigger clients would be 6 months to a year or more. But what we found, Kuldeep, is when we focused on those veteran-owned, veteran-operated businesses, those veteran-focused charities, the sales cycle went from 6 months to about 6 minutes.
Wow.
Like, Dean, you're spending money. I get what you're all about. That's who I am. And it was a very quick, sales cycle, and they become a lifetime customer of ours. I know, Roy, you talked about that, and that's ultimately our goal. And I think it's really tied into, okay, big dreams, aspirations, that billion-dollar brand, but how are we going to get there is laser focused.
Excellent, excellent. That laser focus attitude, and by working constantly on it, and by having that vision, it gives you the kind of ideas and the things needs to be done on a day-to-day basis, and helping you connecting with those different stakeholders. And I think that's the best thing, because when you empower your business, you can do great things. I mean, with the work that you are doing for charities, I think that's tremendous. I think excellent.